Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to our third day of Women's Leadership Conference, Week of Women. I'm Kim Hackus, the Outreach Coordinator with Lake Area United Way, and I'm today's Women's Leadership Committee presenter. We're very excited about today's speaker, but first I would like to thank our wonderful sponsors. Our presenting sponsor is Muskogee Creek Nation Casino. Our host sponsor is Indian Capital Technology Center, First Star Bank, Georgia Pacific, Green Country Behavioral Health Services, St. Francis Hospital, Muskogee, Armstrong Bank, Cherokee Casino, Muskogee Phoenix, Northeastern State University, Refresco, Advantage Controls, Connors State College, Edward Jones, and Love Bottling. If there are any questions for our speaker today, please put them in the Q&A and we will get to them at the end of the presentation. Today's virtual session is presented to you by First Star Bank. Here with us to introduce our speaker is Lacey Bowling, Vice President and Human Resources with First Star Bank.
Thanks, Kim. Welcome, everyone. We're so thrilled to be a sponsor for this year's event. First Star Bank is committed to serving our local communities, and as a female leader, I am so proud to work for a company that not only supports our female customer base, but also hires and promotes women. We now have about 200 employees across 10 locations in both Arkansas and Oklahoma, and we continue to grow. So if you're looking for a career in banking, be sure and check out our website or connect with me at our event on Friday, and I'd love to visit with you. So with that being said, I'm going to introduce today's speaker. We have Chante Allday. Chante Allday is a Tulsa lifestyle content creator. She loves fashion, home decor, thrifting, home organizing, and spending time at home with her daughter. Chante creates style and home inspiration for the everyday woman. She also teaches women how to make extra money with a sustainable side hustle. Chante, I think we need to become good friends. So I will now turn it over to you, and we are looking forward to learning from you today.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here today. And yes, we can definitely become good friends. I'm going to actually do some thrifting this weekend, actually. So I'm pretty excited about that. But today I wanted to just talk about some of the things that really help me as a content creator. So I'm going to talk about the 5 ways that I kind of balance social media, my social media presence, and then my personal time. I have a very active 14-year-old who just started high school this year. So she has her own agenda. You know, I have my own thing going on. She's actually at Palm Camp this week. So we are always moving and very busy. But there has to be some sort of balance between, work and play, so to speak. So I have about 5 things that I do that kind of help me manage my personal life, and then also being an influencer, mainly on Instagram, but also other platforms. Time blocking is one of the things that has helped me tremendously. It sounds like it's really easy. It sounds like you can just, grab an hour or 2 out of your day. But as many of us women know, that is not always the case. So it does take some time to get in the habit of being able to create a routine that allows for time blocking. So it takes practice to get used to. I used to always ignore alerts that I would set, like in my calendar or in a journal. I would, take time out for myself, but then I wouldn't stick to it. So once you can kind of specifically set time aside for yourself, then you can actually start to get it done. You have to be disciplined. And then you also have to make sure you set realistic goals. I mean, I can't realistically take 5 hours out of my day to just, do what I want to do, even if it's just something for myself or work. So what I've been able to do lately is for example, a Friday afternoon, maybe between 1 and 3 p.m., I'm able to either use that time to create new videos for Instagram or attend to like administrative work, whether that be checking emails or sending invoices. So just, be able to create a realistic goal for yourself. Right now for me, that has been Friday afternoons for about 2 hours. And once I can do that each week, I feel better. I'm a little bit more productive as well. So, everybody's schedule is different. We just kind of have to figure out what works for us. And, maybe right now, 2 hours for you isn't feasible, but maybe just an hour. And if you can kind of stick to that for a couple of weeks, you should be able to see some changes. So batching content is something else that I really have adopted here lately. And it's something that you will hear creators always strive for. It's really, really key to batch content to prevent burnout, because burnout is real. Even though we love to make videos and take photographs, we can still get tired of it, and you can get burnt out if you overwork yourself. And I used to do this all the time and just would not have the creativity that I know that I should have. And I just didn't want to do the work. So with batching content, it's kind of like time blocking. You have to do things, take time out of your schedule to allow to batch several pieces of content versus not doing it that way. For example, I have recently learned that I can usually shoot about 4 educational reels or videos for Instagram in about 30 minutes. And the way that I've learned to do that is just by taking out some of the transitions and creative aspects of video and gearing them more towards education. So what I can tell you is most people who are looking to learn something new, they could care less about how your hair looks or what outfit you're wearing, as long as the content is valuable. So if I can create 4 videos of me just looking at the screen, kind of like I'm doing now, that's over half of the content that I would need to put out in 1 week. Because if I'm posting 1 day a week and I'm able to create 4 videos, and I've already created 4 videos for a 7-day week. So once you can kind of figure out your rhythm to do that, it also allows more free time and more space in your schedule to do other things. So something else that I have listed here is plenty of rest. And I know that that sounds really cliche, but honestly, I would not be able to do any of the things that I've accomplished if I did not get plenty of sleep. We all know that without rest, we wouldn't be able to do hardly anything. When we sleep well, it gives us a part of the energy that we kind of need to get through our day. So I always tell people that the work will be there, it'll get done, but you should always take care of yourself and find plenty of rest. I always like to tell a story about my daughter. And when she was younger, me and her father would always hone in on making sure that she would have a sleep schedule. And I kid you not, this kid to this day still goes to bed at 9 o'clock. We allow her to stay up later, and she has to sometimes just because she has projects and she's in high school now. But I mean, she would get invited to sleepovers, and it would be the funniest thing to hear parents call me and say, "Oh, Mallory didn't get to watch the videos or the movies that we watched last night because she went to bed." I even had one of her friends' dads tell me one time that she fell asleep on their sofa, and he had to pack her upstairs and put her in bed because she went to sleep. So she's usually in a really good mood when she sleeps. She also performs better. Her grades are better when she does gets her sleep as well. So I always tell people, as cliche as it sounds, is to always get rest first, and a lot of this other stuff will kind of just fall into place. Outsourcing is another item that is very important. I'll use my reselling business as an example for outsourcing. So Poshmark is one of the apps that I use to list a lot of my personal clothing that I sell on the app, and they have virtual assistants that you can outsource to. For example, I can list a bunch of items that I need to sell, but if I'm not sharing those items to the people in the Poshmark community, then no one knows that they're there. So you can actually hire a virtual assistant who can actually go into your account and help you get the word out about some of the items that you've listed, or all of them actually. And you still can make money doing it that way too. But, you know, don't be afraid to give work to other people to help your business. Another thing that I did to outsource was with my website. I have someone who built my website for me. They created a newsletter for me. They got my WordPress going for me. So there's lots of different ways that you can ask for help. Don't be afraid to do it. I will always pass off work when I can. So that's just another way to kind of balance and manage personal life and social media presence. Plan time away from home. So this one is one that I'm actually struggling with for myself, and is a reason I wanted to add it to this list, because home for most of us tends to be our comfort zone, right? So it's just where we're comfortable. Like if you're home, you could be someone who loves chores or loves to clean, or maybe you're someone who likes to stay at home and watch movies. But whatever it is, I just always like to tell people to get out of that space, get out of your comfort zone, even if that means you just want to go out and have a cup of coffee away from home today, or be it you want to do something with your kids at a park or a swimming pool, or it could even be a vacation. But I think that kind of also helps us just remember that, you know, we matter too, and that giving and allowing ourselves time and space will kind of help us stay focused. It helps me be more creative when I'm thinking of how to present content to my social community. So that also is one that kind of sounds like maybe it's not a big deal, but it's actually one of the ways that I keep myself motivated and inspired to do all of the things that I love to do. So in a nutshell, those are pretty much the things and areas that I use daily to help me achieve the goals that I want to achieve in both my personal life with my family, and then also being present and sharing the knowledge and inspiration and education to all of my social media community, as I like to call them. And I think that's pretty much it for me.
Thank you, Chante. That was awesome.
Thank
Now,
you.
if we could all just put that into practice every day, huh?
Yep.
I'm sure we all learned something. I have a few questions that came through, so I'm going to ask you a few things.
Sure.
This is one. There's a couple of them. Are you on Facebook, and how can we find you on social media platforms?
Yes, so I am on Facebook, and then all of my social media handles are the same. So it's going to be Chante_Allday across all platforms: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Pinterest, and there might be one Poshmark. If you're into thrifting and reselling, that is another avenue. And then I also have a website, chanteallday.com. I do have a free reselling tool there for people who are interested in maybe starting to list. I know people with getting kids ready for school, a lot of parents like to list things that their kids have outgrown. We know that they all, it seems like, grow like so much right before the school year starts. And so that's one of the ways that I, as a single mom, have been able to kind of, fund some of my things that my daughters need. I would sell her old things in order to get some of the new things that she could use. So yeah, Chante Allday across all platforms.
Okay, great. Can you kind of tell us a little bit how you got your start and how you decided to become an influencer?
Yeah, so it's funny because it actually started with reselling. So I was watching TV one day, me and my daughter, and I saw this ad come across the TV screen, and it was for Poshmark. I think at that time they were about a year old, so it was very new. Very popular now, but it was very new. And so pretty much I just downloaded the app, went in there and kind of, searched around and tried to figure it out on my own. And I started listing things from both my closet, and then I was listing some of the things that my daughter had that she didn't even get to wear because kids grow so fast. And so she had a bunch of new items, and I listed those things as well. And so a bunch of time had gone by and things were just sitting, nothing sold. And then one day, a lady, she purchased a pair of my shoes. And I was really surprised at the amount that she paid for the shoes because they were used, but she really liked them. And so she bought them. And so I started to list more and more items. And as I started to list more and more items, I started to make a little bit more money. And from there, I started to tell people, just family and friends about it. I think I even hosted like a small little gathering one time to just put the word out and let people know, hey, this is really becoming trendy. It's popular. It's a way to make extra money. A lot of my friends were single moms as well, so it made sense for us. And then Poshmark eventually reached out to me to become one of their ambassadors, because a lot of people started to follow me on their platform, and they wanted me to be an ambassador for their brand, and they would pay me to do that, to spread the word about their platform on Instagram. And at that time, I didn't know anything about Instagram either, but I started to work with Poshmark, and I started to educate other people about how to use their platform and how to make money. And then it just kind of went from there. I knew that I always had a knack for like teaching and helping people. So I knew that it made sense for me. It naturally is my thing to like help other people be successful. And so from there, I just knew that if I could inspire and, motivate people via reselling, that I could also do it more so, I guess, on Instagram. And so kind of from there, other people started to reach out, other opportunities started to come along. And I've always been very creative, and I've always liked to put my creative spin on products I use. And so, that's been one of the ways I've been able to work with some of the other brands that I've had the opportunity to work with. So it's kind of funny how that all happened, but I'm very grateful for those opportunities.
That's great. So I had another question come up. Would you be able to break down time blocking in detail? Give a few examples.
A few examples of time blocking. Sure. So for me, like I said, I used to try to go to like be this overachiever. I would try to block out like a 5-hour block in a day, each day. Like I was trying to just be like this overachiever. But what I found out is that it wasn't realistic. I mean, I still work full time. I still have a daughter. There's just other things that we have to do in our daily lives. So an example of time blocking would just be, you get to decide for yourself what. I would start off with like maybe in just 1 hour per week, see if that works for you, and just use that hour to do maybe something that you've put off, or be it, maybe you just want to go get a pedicure. Like take an hour out of your day, pick the day and stick to it. And then if that works, then maybe you can add more time. And even with me, like I said, right now, every week for me is Friday afternoons from 1 to 3 p.m. And so pretty much what I do is I use the reminder tool in my phone, and it pops up at, I think, an hour before. So at noon, I get a notification every Friday that from 1 to 3, I'm either going to use that time doing video edits for content that I'm working on, or I'm going to use it for administrative work, such as sending invoices, checking emails, and following up on that sort of thing. So it pretty much just needs to be whatever suits you. It's going to be different for everybody. I have friends that have way aggressive time blocking schedules. You know, they may have a Tuesday and Thursday at lunchtime, you know what I mean, to actually do something for themselves or do something for their business.
Good advice. Good advice. Thank you. So had somebody ask, what are some good side hustles for the everyday working woman that you could recommend?
All right. So reselling is very popular right now. And if you notice, a lot of the bigger retailers are starting to also see that this trend is a real thing. I think maybe it might be Gap or Old Navy or something. They have something now where if you have a pair of Gap jeans and you didn't, and they're still like new, you can bring them back to the store and they'll resell them and you'll get some credit for them. So be able to look out. You can always look at stores that you shop at currently, and you may even just ask if they have like a sustainable program that you can make money. I'm always going to recommend Poshmark because that's where I started. I've had a lot of success there, and because social media is such a big thing and lots of people are spending time online, Poshmark is a great way to resell. Facebook Marketplace is another place for people that like to do things more local. I recently sold my patio set on Facebook Marketplace, and I love that site for selling, you know, small home furnishings and things that you might have in your garage that you know, not used in a while. I always tell people if you've not touched it in 6 to 8 months, you probably need to go ahead and sell it if you can.
I agree. I just need to make that happen. What are tips that you have for someone that's looking to start a Poshmark page? How do they go about even doing that if they don't have any knowledge of it?
So I do have if you go to my website and you sign up for I have a tips and tricks like cheat sheet for beginners on Poshmark. So that is actually available on my website, which is Chante Allday. It's a great resource for people who have never done it before. And then if you still have questions, I believe my email is listed there as well. So you can, if you get started and you get stumped or you aren't sure where to go, please send me a question or email, and I'm happy to answer any questions you have.
Okay. And the last one we've got is, what type of content subjects are good to repurpose across multiple platforms?
So that's the cool thing about content. You can pretty much everything, like there's everything out there. I know TikTok right now is pretty much the blueprint of how I guess the direction social media is going. So I mean, there's everything out there. I see people doing everything. I mean, it's insane. It's funny because my daughter is doing she's at camp this week at OU, but even some of the students at OU, like they're showing how they take their tiny little dorm spaces and they're decorating them, you know, on these very small budgets and they look amazing. Like you wouldn't even recognize some of these dorms if you didn't know. So all that type of content, it works. I mean, you know, there's all kids that are going back to college here in about a month. And so that kind of content works across pretty much every platform. You know, if you're into gardening, I know my mom is, that's another one that's going to work. I mean, pretty much whatever you are good at, and if you can show someone the value to what you do, I say put it out there.
Perfect. Thank you. Well, we greatly appreciate you giving time to us today and speaking to us. It's been a truly pleasure to talk to you and hear from you. And I think that this week is going to be one for the books for our women's leadership. Please be sure to join us tomorrow here on Zoom at 10 a.m. for our keynote speaker, Meg Ferguson, contestant of season 19 Project Runway, as she presents beautifully bespoke in an off-the-rack world. We hope to see all you guys tonight at the Muscogee Golf Club for our Ladies Night Out networking event. This will be your only chance to get your professional headshot taken by Mandy Lundy, portrait artist. Also, while there, you can build a bouquet with Poppy's Garden and enjoy a cocktail while networking with other attendees. This event starts at 4 o'clock at Muskogee Golf Club. Be sure to follow the fun on the Muskogee Women's Leadership Conference Facebook page for Women in Muskogee recognition, information on upcoming networking events, and giveaways. This year, Women's Leadership Conference speakers are being recorded. If you would like to catch up on speaker or rewatch today's session, go to the link provided in today's Women's Leadership newsletter email and use the password 2022 with capital WOW. So now it's giveaway time, and today's giveaway is a goodie bag from Holly's Hangar, located inside Hattie's House and Vintage Market at 200 South Main. And the winner is Catalina Adame. I hope I didn't mispronounce it, but congratulations. And thank you all for joining us. Lots of thank yous in the comments. So we appreciate your time, Chante, and we look forward to seeing you all this evening at the Muskogee Golf Club. Thank you.